I'm like, you know what? This is what it is, and you could do it.
Happy Easter, everyone, and welcome to Lexan TV. Now, on this week's episode, a very energetic, persistent, and uber talented local, a Grenadian, a superstar in the making. He's joining me today to tell me all about his EP and this beautiful journey of his that has taken some time, but guess what? He is well on his way. I'm speaking about none other than Jeverson Ramirez. Jeverson joins me today. Of course, he's based in the US. He has been putting in the work and now he is reaping the benefits. Stay tuned for this episode on Lexan TV, where I get to chat with another truly talented young man, Mr. Jeverson Ramirez.
Hi, my name is Shola K. Roberts, and I am the founder and artistic executive director of Dance Grenada. You are now watching Lexan TV. It's all about life.
Welcome back and happy Easter once more. And as promised, I have joining me today on Lexan TV. Listen, I've got to be honest with you. Now, you know, once you're tuned into Lexan TV, I gotta let you know, this one was work for me. We had to make this happen. We had to make shifts here, but he's finally here. He's been busy and focused so much on his career that I'm so happy that he's made some time for us today. Jeverson, how are you doing? Welcome to Lexan TV.
Hi, I'm great. Thanks for having me. Long overdue conversation for real. But
listen,
thank you.
You're finally here. I wore my best color for you today, buddy. Let me tell you. Thank you so much. I like us to start at the beginning. Let's talk about the gift. You know, I always tell people, listen, man, Papa God put me on this planet to do this. This is what I love. You know, I dabble in other things, but when you know it's for you, it's for you. When did you know that performing and being in the spotlight, being in front of people, when was that moment?
I think I really, really decided that a couple years ago. But I felt like I always could sing. I felt like I used to dream about being on stage and performing and singing and just having a good time. Like in my dreams, people would be crazy, it would be fun, it would be just like real energetic. And at that time, I had no idea how I would get there because I just felt like I could sing in the shower. I sing at home, but I would sing along with the TV, and it sounded good. It sometimes sounded better. And I was like, you could sing a little bit, but I was always so shy and just so reserved about it.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saves a wretch like me.
The door just kind of opened for it, and I kind of accepted it, and started training and making it go the way I felt it should go, and here we are today.
Yeah, here we are today. And don't be so modest. Don't be so modest, because I remember you on Pam too, carnival time.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Churros. So
everything.
It's just everything, and like everything in life, especially when you want your career to propel and go in a certain direction, it takes work, it takes time. You just spoke and you just mentioned about training. Who did you get to work with?
I've worked with Halin Brazan from PBC Choir. He was the guy that actually, I would say, discovered me, because I wasn't even singing when he spoke to me. He was like, I was just talking in this library I was at, and he was like, nah, you should sing because of how you speak. And he asked me to audition for the choir, and I did. So he was the first person I was training with. And then I worked with Valerie Danielle. So I did some class training as well. And now I'm working with an American trainer. Her name is Imani Wilkins, and she's a vocal powerhouse, and it's good vibes here.
Oh my goodness. Tell us a little bit about your musical inspiration.
My inspiration comes from a lot of different places. I I listen to all kinds of music, jazz, R&B, hip hop, soca. I sometimes don't listen enough soca, but soca, everything, reggae. I listen to everything. So it ranges from like, Marshall and Patrice in soca to Barris to James Brown to Chris Brown to, so there's a lot of, I listen to all kinds of stuff, and I'm kind of able to take, influences, to take the elements from them to make my own sound, and that's what I've done. So it's all these people kind of wrapped up in one vibe, kind of.
I experienced your James Brown-esque power night at True Blue Bay Resort, well, Dodgy Dock in particular. And you were on a roll. I mean, you did the movements with your body and your feet. You went down on the ground. The only thing they didn't have was that cape to cover you before you got on the ground. But that was James all the way. And I really love the fact that you say you listen to every genre across the board.
Yeah.
I think that it is so crucial for your development as a musician, as an artist, because it gives you a different air to appreciate a different sound and to cater to all your fans, because I'm old school, you do those old school songs and I am in absolute heaven. So I really love the fact that you mentioned that. Let's talk a little bit about, this journey. But I think one of the most important things that people must understand, particularly young people or anyone who's trying to cross over and venture into the big USA to get that break, to get that moment, what did you have to shift in order to, I wouldn't say fit in, but just to understand the business, to understand bookings, to understand what that particular market is looking for? Take us into a little bit of your lessons, the lessons learned.
I came into this thing with an open mind. I always, long story short, I prayed for what's happening now. Like I felt like I wanted a certain level of management. I wanted a team. I wanted this. I wanted that. And I was just trying to pray for that. And it kind of came. But other than that, I spent a lot of time in reading about it. When we had lockdown, I was reading about it. I did some free courses online on it. And I kind of picked up songwriting in 2020. And it just kept going on from there and there. So, and the more you read, the more there's YouTube videos I used to watch too, just explaining the music business. And my manager has been in the music business for over 30 years. So he's taught me some stuff. I can just being around, listening some of the conversations. I've been able to pick up on some things. I'm still learning, but it's been cool. It's been a journey.
Wow.
But interesting. Yeah.
Listen, I can just imagine. I'm sitting here and I can tell you, I feel like a proud mama bear sitting here because you're like, I'm like, look at my child, look at him. And I think a lot of Grenadians can, share the same sentiment.
Yes, and they should.
Everything you share, from performances at festivals to, photo shoots and video shoots. And we're going to get to the Barclays Center in a moment.
Oh, yeah.
Just all those, every single moment we are sitting here just so, captivated by it all and just enjoying the ride with you, brother. We are so happy.
Yeah.
I just had to put that in there, that is excellent. Let's talk about you and your confidence. What has all of this done for you? Why was it so important to understand that, sometimes you have to listen as opposed to speaking to understand the business? How important is it? And this is mainly just you giving the advice to anyone aspiring to become and following your footsteps.
2020 was supposed to be the year for me that was going to change. Like what's happening this year was starting to happen in 2020. COVID happened and I was stuck home for a while, like a long time, no job, no work. There was nothing happening. And it just took a mental shift for me to say, you know what, this is what you were born with. I spent a lot of time, I spent hours just meditating and chilling and praying and reading some more and trying to understand my own self and why I think I was here, why I was brought here, and all that kind of stuff, the real and deeper meaning of life altogether. And to me, it just boiled down to, if this is what you came with, then this is what's supposed to make the way for you to live the life that you dream about. This is what's supposed to make the way for you to do whatever you want to do, however you want to do it. So it was scary. It was scary to think about performing for 18,000 people, which we go get to. but it I'm like, you know what? This is what it is, and you could do it. Like, there's nothing that says you can't. You could do it. I have this thing now. I'll be like, yes, I can. Yes, I can. Sometimes I say I can't. I was like, nope. You can. I can. I could do it. I could do it. I could do it. I could really do it, and I could mash it up. I just can't do it. I could do it and do it well. Like, I could really do this thing, And it just took that realization. I mean, people have been telling me that for years. Like, bro, you could real sing, dog, da 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 da. But I don't know. Maybe it wasn't the right time, and maybe I wasn't in the right headspace. But it took me a while to say, yo, this is your thing. Like, you could really shift the atmosphere. You could really shift the energy in any place. You could do it just by walking in there. You could do that so even before you open your mouth to say anything, you have already shifted the vibes in the place, and you've seen it happen in front of your face. So, like, just accept it and walk through it, live through it, and the real talent, the real expression of the talent would show eventually. And we're getting ready to see that.
Yay. And just a couple of weeks ago, I had a similar conversation with Songbird Ramirez.
I saw big up.
Thanks for jumping on and clicking the like, yes, and loving it, And I told her, all you can do is embrace it. You're where you ought to be, man. Let's talk about the folks who are there for you through thick, through thin, through up, through down.
First of all, I want to say thanks. This is like, thank you to everybody. Like, I can't call names. I call some names sometimes when, they really play pivotal role in changing my mental space and stuff. But there's been a lot of people, who supported me, who showed me a lot of love. And it's, I won't say weird, but it's like just off the fly, just like real love I've never felt in my life from strangers, complete strangers. And all of that, every single interaction that I've had in that way shaped me to be where I am, how I am, who I am now. But my family's a big support. Some people say that, Grenadians only support their own, da da da. I mean, and yes, sometimes people we post stuff when we see stuff happening outside, but in the back of our mind, I think we know that we have Grenadians out there that are doing good stuff, and people that they just kind of waiting behind the scenes, waiting in the bushes to see what's gonna happen, and But I think I've been supported by Grenadians ever since I opened my mouth to sing. People, they might probably got tired of hearing me after a while singing every Wednesday. We did that gig for like 5 years, and they probably get tired of hearing the same songs, tired of coming and see the same band. But people showed up. People still showed up, and that, like, that since 2009, from my first debut into singing publicly in Gospel Challenge, people supported me, and that was a big deal. But now I have a team. I have a manager. We have some social media people. We have PR. We have the whole nine. So it's quite a jump from having to deal with just one person who would say, "Oh, we had this gig here, we had that gig there, we had band rehearsal here," to having to literally manage or have people manage it while I'm working on the craft and or working on the music. And so it's great. It's great.
Oh my goodness. Listen, you mentioned Gospel Challenge 2009. Let's do the math. I mean, that's what you're talking about 13 years. And from that moment to now, and it clearly, it really shows you that you really have to be patient, put in the work, put in the work, put in the time. Folks, I am chatting with Jeverson Ramirez. Of course, we are talking about his incredible journey. We've been following it bit by bit, day by day, week by week, and tell you what, his EP is now out. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. We'll be right back after this.
She won't leave me alone. She begging me to take her home. There must be something in the water.
Anything, anywhere, at any time, and have it delivered to you right here in Grenada at yogo.gd.
Welcome everyone, I'm Lexan Fletcher and this is Lexan TV. Now the Lexan TV platform is home to many great series. There's a Life Champion series and of course General Lifestyle.
This is a career, this is not just about storytelling.
It is a true passion.
Keep doing what you love to do.
I have never chased after money.
You want to leave this world having made a contribution.
But don't forget, there's also food and cuisine. So there's the We Cooking series as well.
I like to cook the curry.
Thank you so much for stopping by. Remember to click like, share, and on our YouTube channel, subscribe today. Welcome back. Certainly hope you're enjoying this conversation on this Easter Sunday. I hope you're having a wonderful time with your family. I'm having a wonderful time with Mr. Jeverson. Yes. And continue. Let's talk about all these amazing opportunities. When the world met Jeverson, I think I remember spotting you the first time when I said, "Oh my God, he did it! He did it!" It was a festival, I think.
Nashville, yeah. Yeah, there was a thing in New York I did first.
Right.
And then, yeah.
And then a whole host of others. And I want you to just talk about those experiences, how it felt to you, and let's talk about Nashville firstly. And then we've got to go to the Barclay Center. That one just everybody just went loco, I remember picking up my phone and I went up to my husband in the kitchen. I'm like, look at the white I'm like, do you know? And even my daughter, I'm like, do you know the Barclay Center? I mean, do you really know the Barclay Center? We're talking NBA, and I lost it. I'm sorry, I just lost it.
When I started performing in Nashville, I mean, it was all love. They like original music. They appreciate, and they appreciate a new artist, and they appreciate new music. They appreciate original music. So it was cool because I started having fans, like people would start following me around now, and checking out the different shows that we have, and we have a little base of people that would always come out. But it's an interesting vibe because I don't know that they saw that kind of vibe before ever. So when I say that kind of vibe, I mean my kind of vibe. So at least I like to say. So it was a shock to some people, but they noticed the talent right away and noticed the voice and showed me a lot of love. So it was that Nashville is cool. I like to perform in Nashville. Nashville is like home now. From Nashville, we did a couple of shows in New York. I did a show in New York, and that was kind of interesting. We drove like 13 hours here to New York, did the show. Came the night before the show, and the place was rammed. Can't get past people. It's like Soca Monarch, a small Soca Monarch, rammed. And So we thought there were going to be people. Got on stage 2 o'clock the next day, and there was nobody. There was absolutely nobody in the crowd. Until we sound check, and then one guy came from wherever he came from, and he just started dancing, and we performed to 1 or 2 people for like 2 songs, and on the 3rd song, people were running from where they were camping out to come and hear what was going on, because there was nobody in there. It was great. That was a cool experience. So people came, so they understood the vibe, they see the talent, they see the voice, and they like, this is good vibes. So I was booked for that show again this year. So that's New York. So back to New York, I was coming to New York to deal with a family emergency. Mm-hmm. And when I spoke to my friends about coming to New York, he was like, "Oh, you coming to New York? Blah blah blah. Let me make a call." And he called back and was like, "Yo, you think you could perform on the 31st?" I was like, "Yeah," and we did. That was that. It was just good people. These are my I call them my brothers. I only met them last year, and they're just awesome people. And he just, nah, I got you, man. I could do that, but you could perform. Yeah, I could make that happen. And he just made that happen. So it was not my first thing to do, but I was like, it was kind of mad. It was mad. It was mad to have that as my first performance after releasing my debut EP. So that was, I feel like there's a level of magic happening. And with everything, with how everything is aligning, but in the same way, I just try to be, grounded about everything. So to allow the magic to happen.
Were you overwhelmed? Were you just in awe? I mean, it must have been surreal for you.
It was, it was cool. But I just tried to stay in the experience a little bit, because I've been in there once before. Because I have family in New York that I stay with sometimes. And I went downtown, I've been Times Square, I've been to Barclays Center. But I went there for one Nets game.
Right.
We went there for one Nets game, and it's like 2013 or 2015 or so. And I was inside, and there was no performances. There was nobody performed. There was just dancers, and they were shooting, t-shirts out in the crowd. And I wondered at the time, like, this is massive. Like, this is really massive. But I've heard about people performing in the Barclays. I never thought that I would do it. Like, yeah, you probably do something. You might do festivals or stuff, but not as a thing right now. Even if it had to happen, I didn't expect it to happen. No, because I knew that I had contact. I knew he was my friend. I knew what he did for a living. I knew that maybe at some point in time, maybe later on down the road, but not right now. I didn't expect that now. But I walked in there, and it was like it was cool. It was cool to sit up there and see all that people, and it was my first time using in monitors to sing in somewhere that big. So that was a learning experience as well. Yeah, and I don't think the people around me didn't expect that to happen. Yeah. It was like, oh, this come out of nowhere, dog. What happened? It's come out of nowhere.
The incredible thing about you, and the amazing thing about you, and your talent, and your personality, is that you are in that moment, and even if you were shaking in your shoes, we can't tell. Never. You know why? Because that is what you absolutely love. I look at the smile on your face. You look like a kid on Christmas Day that got every toy you ever wanted. You know what I mean? Your face, you were just like, I am here, and I am going to leave my mark inside here. And you did.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, I guess. Yes.
Take a bow. Your EP is out now. Let folks know a little bit about your EP, the inspiration behind it, and then what's your next move, Jeverson?
Oh, so the EP is out. It's self-titled because I want people to name it. I want people to identify my name, because people say Jeverson a lot, and I wanted to coming into the game a little bit. 6 songs. It's like a mashup of I said this, like a magic thing happened, and I met the producer of the first 2 or 3 tracks on there. In Grenada on the beach, he was just walking, and he was like, "Are you Jeverson Ramirez?" And I said, yes. And we kind of exchanged numbers, and we, start writing together. And then the other half is people that I met with in Nashville. We wrote songs together. One of them is the drummer from Toto, the band that sing Africa, and they are
really. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a cool.
And he's really, really
that's
awesome. He's so good. So we're working on he's like the producer I'm working with, and I'm now learning to produce my own stuff as well. So yeah, that's the EP is just a collection of stuff that I was working on with while I'm learning to write, and while I'm figuring out how to get my thoughts on paper, how to get my feelings on paper, figuring out melodies, figuring out how I want to hear this, hear that, and so it's a collection of all my thoughts, I think. And I really like it. My favorite, I don't know, I would leave it to people to guess which one's my favorite.
What?
But they're cool. But next I'm gonna just be making more music. Still working on producing, writing, and I had some cool co-writes, writing with other people, and I hope to travel a lot this year. I have a couple shows in Atlanta at the end of this month. Shows in May, shows in June, shows in July. I want to come home for Carnival. I would love to be for the mass. I would love to be. But if I'm busy, if stuff happening, then I probably and I've accepted that already, So if you see me in the mass, then you see me in the mass. But
when you reach, you reach. But if not, we know.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And my love is always there with my people, always.
Absolutely.
Proper.
Absolutely. If you had to describe this journey of yours, which clearly has just begun, describe it. How would you describe it?
I would say interesting.
Yeah.
I like to say I'm just grateful for everything that's happening, but I also like to say, kind of God put this together. God put this together. There's some kind of magic in this. There's some kind of something in this. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible. Just incredible, Jeverson. This is fantastic. I'm telling you, I am so happy for you. I'm so very happy for you. Before you leave us, I know you lost a very dear friend, and it could have been about a year ago. Your buddy, you both performed together in your band back here at home. What did he mean to you?
It's been a year, and I still feel like he's somehow around, watching everything. Seeing everything play out, because he wanted to live the life I'm living now. He wanted to tour, he wanted to be on stage, he wanted to be he wanted that vibes more than I wanted that vibe, and he was just a brother. We fight sometimes, and he, everybody has their thing. Everybody has their thing. No matter what people say, everybody have a thing. Everybody have something. But you could not help but love that guy. Everybody that met that guy said, they like him. They like his vibe. They just like his way. There's something about him that was real cool. And played that the weekend before he fell into a coma. He played so well. I'd never forget that. He played with all his heart and soul. And that boy he played. He didn't want to stop playing. Like, he was the one to say, let's go, let's keep going. And he's always that guy, but there was a difference that weekend, 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. And he's just been good inspiration. We'd make music together. We'd, anything. We'd handle mad scene. We'd anything I had to do. Any funeral he did, any wedding, we just did stuff. And it was cool. There was a loss. We lost somebody, and the guys still feel it. And even if probably they don't talk about it, like it's something to have a friend. It's something to have somebody that you do stuff with, but somebody that you play music with, that you communicate on a almost like a telepathic level. You communicate to this person because this person has to know you to give you what you want in order to make the thing go the way it's supposed to go. And every musician communicates with each other in their head. So to know somebody well and to lose somebody that suddenly, it was real tough. It was real hard. I didn't feel the same performing in the same space because he was always over my left shoulder, and every time I look there I see somebody else and I'm like, no, this is not what's supposed to happen. But it taught me a couple things, taught me a lot of things actually about my own self and about my own life and about which is why I kind of got into what this life is about. And I'm so much on that kind of path of trying to be spiritual rather than religious, and trying to show love more than show hate. Just trying to choose good things, lean into the good things rather than being upset, being stressed, being dealing with negative stuff. I always tell him thanks for the lessons, thanks for everything, because I know he could hear it. Big up Solid one time, and big up I remember a couple of years ago he gave me the chance to do it, and we formed a band, and we get massive. It was great. It was awesome. We mashed down the place. We had the best time. And it was cool.
God bless you, man. Go safe, be well, stay healthy, so you can continue to do what you love to do for as long as you can.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Hopefully next interview we had a Grammy in the corner.
Hello. I didn't set up, but we're coming for it. Just tell them we, and not you. We coming for it. We are coming for it. Jeverson, thank you so much again, and best wishes with everything, and may your heart get everything that you so desire. Take care.
What to do now?
Well, folks, that's it for this week's episode. I certainly hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed Jeverson's conversation with me today, and hopefully you would have pulled something from the conversation that made you feel good about who you are and following your dreams, or even rooting for a very, very own local talents who are pursuing their dreams in their respective fields. Thank you so very much to each and every one of you. Don't forget to like, to subscribe, to share the conversations today. Enjoy the rest of the long weekend. Until next time, take good care. It's Lexan TV, where it's all about.
Just cover me from my head to my feet. Pray, 'cause I really need some help sometimes.